on my mother's life, if you think that that's going to happen when we're married and have children, you've got another thing coming. If my daughter is doing something that I don't know she's doing, I'm there to protect her. I need to know where she's at all times.
It's your duty.
I don't care about how she feels. I don't care about her feelings. I don't care about if she's upset that I know or whatever.
Oh, the thunder came in the perfect timing.
Already cancelled.
Hi, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
Good.
It's already cancelled.
Yes, it is at Bella Vista Hotel, Hill's podcast studio, guys. That's where we film out of or record out of.
We don't broadcast anymore.
You were going to say broadcast.
Yeah, no.
Do you miss the broadcasting days? Anyone? I miss it a little bit.
I don't miss waking up so early and having to be somewhere at some time.
See, I do miss that.
You miss you hold on.
Yeah.
You miss waking up at 4 a.m.
I feel lazy.
Yeah, that's true as well.
I feel lazy.
It's because of the high achieving vibes we have. We're high achievers.
But I feel
so if you're not achieving already at that, like we used to have our work day was done pretty much when everyone started work.
It's about 10 a.m. we were finished.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel like your vibes weren't there. Broadcasting.
Really?
Yeah. Like, as in you were obviously very good at what you did, but like I feel like you just like.
I just hated the environment.
Yeah, maybe that was it, but I don't know. I feel like you're happier now.
The environment was chat, but I did like the fast pacedness of it.
Yeah,
that was fun.
Boom, 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 boom.
That's
boom.
true.
It was very like
adrenaline rush.
It was an adrenaline
that's
rush.
True.
Now it's just more like.
Well, now it's
laid
more
back.
Exactly. Now it's like it's the real us, so we don't have to cram everything. I feel like we were just cramming every.
Well, we
every
had
day.
to. We only had like 5 minutes to talk about a whole topic.
But you know what my favorite part was? I will say, just as if we're going down this nostalgia trip, is talking to people. Like there was so many of our listeners would call in every single day, and
but we can set that up. That's not a problem to set up. It just takes a few little button switches over here.
Yeah,
maybe we should.
But it also takes pre-planning. It's not like
in the moment.
Hey, give us a call right now, and then bang, 20 people call up.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but we could probably do that if
How?
we just
How?
Okay, we'll just tell everyone we're going to be live at this time. If you want to jump on the show,
Different Kian.
Oh, but here's a
So
point though.
What do you mean? We just put it on our broadcast channel, Cancel Squad.
That's
just
true.
tell the Cancel Squad we're going to be live now.
Yeah, but they're not listening live, and they're not keeping they're not a
What
part
do you
of
mean?
it.
If you go live if you just go live, if we took this podcast live on YouTube, live on Instagram, live on Facebook, live whatever, we just went live.
Okay, but now we're throwing shit in to make it work. It's different. I'm saying now in general.
As in this very second.
Because if we go live, then we're technically broadcasting. We are then broadcasting.
Yes.
Well, that'd be great. We should just do it.
I'm down.
How would we'll
do you want
us?
If you want us to go live and you want to participate, then let us know.
Do you want to just start a pirate radio station?
Yes. we can
just fucking pirate it.
How do we get on a network?
We just use our Instagram account.
Nisha, you got to remember the FM signal is free to use if you pirate it, as long as you send out a signal that can be caught by a FM receiver.
Well, we need a massive ass satellite.
Why, guys? We have our Instagram account. Just go live on Instagram. That's all we need to do.
Yeah. Oh, we could do that every day. Do you want to do a breakfast show again?
We could literally do a breakfast show every day on Instagram.
I think this podcast is great. Let's just stick with the podcast.
Nah, I want to do it now.
Yeah.
Now I don't want to do the show unless it's live.
Challenge accepted.
Yeah, because we pretty much do the podcast live. We just everything. There's nothing is edited. Nothing is broken down. Nothing is changed from how we sit in this moment and talk for the next 30, 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Nothing is changed.
It's just straight. Yeah, I'm down.
Okay, we'll work on that plan, providing people want us to do it.
We'll find out if they want us to do it.
If you want us to do it, let us know. Simple as that. Anyhow, I'd like to get to something that happened to me in the last 2 days ago.
Yeah.
You know I got 2 kids.
Yeah, we know.
You know, if you don't know, I have 2 little girls. I have a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old. Mm-hmm. Lila, the oldest, Evie, the youngest. Lila, an angel, Evie, a devil. I love her. She's the most gorgeous, cutest little thing I've ever met in my life.
Yeah.
And she challenges, or Lila challenges me more, but Evie challenges me as a parent. Lila challenges me as a person.
Okay.
Right?
Oh, okay.
Evie's just, So she's that on that particular day, she did about 6 poos in her nappy on that day.
Is that normal?
It was a bit more than average. It was a bit more. She usually does maybe 3 or 4, but by this time it was about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. She'd done 6.
What did she eat?
Food
Okay.
that we make.
Yeah.
But we had Thai the night before, so maybe this is why.
It triggered something.
It could be that. Anyhow, she runs up to me to tell me. She lets me know that she's done one in her nappy, and we're going through the toilet training process. And she told me there's a poo, Dad. And I'm like, okay, cool. So I turn her around and check her nappy just to make sure she's not lying to me, because sometimes she lies.
just to get,
and then she'll run away.
Yeah.
What I found in her nappy, I will never forget, and I'll probably bring it up at her 21st birthday.
Oh my gosh, what?
What did you find in her nappy?
Not poo.
It wasn't poo?
So she hadn't pooed?
She didn't poo. She put something in her nappy and then lied to me to say it was poo and then ran away. Are you ready for it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Can we guess?
Okay, yeah.
I can't. It could be anything.
It literally could be
anything. Rocks? I don't know.
No, not rocks.
Yeah, I don't even want to guess. I don't know. There's nothing I can think. I don't know.
Scrunched up foil. Aluminium foil. Scrunched up and put
in her bum.
Not in her bum.
Yeah, but like a bum.
In a nappy.
Put in almost in between her bum cheeks.
She's hilarious.
This is what I'm dealing with, guys.
This is a classic case of punked. You've been punked. This Ashton Kutcher will come out, the whole crew. Like, this is a classic.
And it's almost as if but it's almost as if she wants it there because she wants the chase around the house so I can pick her up.
Yeah.
And take it out of her pants.
Firstly, very genius for your 2-year-old daughter to do that.
Yeah, exactly.
It's actually very smart. I know, like, to us, it's like, why is she doing that? Well, she's trying to get a reaction from you.
Yeah, of course.
So that's great. Secondly, does anyone teach you how to be a parent? I'm actually very curious about this.
No, they don't. And I think they should 100%
You can never, you have to, it's a learn on the job situation.
Like, Kian,
it's a learn on the job.
Can I ask you an actual question? Seriously.
Yeah.
So I'm sure you've had a fair bit of experience now with 2 daughters.
Up to 5 years.
Up to 5 years, right? At the beginning stages, year 1, year 2, having Lila, did you know what you were doing? Did you have any idea what you were doing, like, realistically?
You have an instinct. You do have an instinct. Let me tell you about night 1. If you're thinking of having kids, right, be prepared. And I'll tell you a reason why. Is because you will second guess yourself on the first day. Every person I know that has had a kid does the same thing. And they say the same thing to their partner. Did we make a mistake?
Whoa.
No.
On the first night, that's the first that I woke up. We had Lila on the first night. We went to sleep. We woke up for her midnight feed change, whatever.
Yeah.
And I turned to Lorraine, holding Lila crying, and I said, oh no, did we make a mistake?
Like, was it too soon? Is that what you're
genuinely, saying? did we just, like, our life we'll never have a good sleep again. Like a full block sleep.
Oh God, I'm getting anxiety from this.
But like, okay, so
yeah, and my cousins that just had a kid, they've had it. All the people I know, they have this same feeling on night 1. Did we make a mistake? Everyone has it.
Wow.
And then you have to figure out how to.
You got to teach yourself.
You have to teach yourself.
Because there's no manual, is there? There's no manual of how to be a parent.
You get there's so many like influencers out there and like pages that give you advice and psychologists that say this is why and how to do things and then why to do things like this, whatever.
So where do you find foil in the nappy? Where's that?
Well,
Chapter 29.
Maybe I should write a damn book about it.
Foil in the nappy,
should.
chapter 27.
Yeah, no, there's none of that. So you have to learn on the job.
But I'm curious, right? So like for women, and some women, they struggle to have attachment with a baby, and that's really, really difficult and really hard for them. So for anyone who's going through that, I'm really sorry. But usually when women have the kid, they have this bond because they're growing the baby. But for a father, what was that like for you? Like, when you see Lila for the first time, your first ever child, did that happen, like the bond happened right away? Or was it?
Every kid's different because with Lila, we had struggles with feeding, with breastfeeding. So we understand if you're breastfeeding, the mother will build a better bond because the mother is constantly with the kid. And the biggest bond is built overnight, during the night. So when they wake up in the middle of the night, in the dark, whoever's holding them and with them, it builds that bond.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And whoever's feeding them, they build that stronger bond with. So if the woman can breastfeed, and she does and chooses to, she will build a stronger bond quicker, pretty much up to a year. And then after that is when the father's bond kicks in because then it's more like playtime You can assist with feeding, you can feed solids, and along the time you're changing nappies and stuff. But like it's during the night where the biggest bond is built. That's what I think, and I think that's what like a lot of scientists and psychologists say.
Interesting. Wow.
Which is really crazy because with Lila, we had feeding, like it was very difficult feeding times, and like Lorraine was pumping and all that stuff, which is like I've never seen someone go through so much draining of her own energy other than pumping milk to feed. That has to be one of the most draining things a mother could go through.
No pun intended.
Yeah. She literally was a cow at a factory.
Oh my gosh.
That's the sound. If
That's
you've ever heard a
literally
pump,
the sound,
that's the sound.
How important is breast milk to a baby? Like, can you get it from the stores?
It's where you get you can't get breast milk from the stores. You can get formula.
Formula, yeah.
So what would be better? Like, what would a doctor say is better?
I think
breast milk.
I think they would say breast milk. Yeah,
But I've heard opposite. I've heard you should just give them formula.
Look, every kid's different, and this is the age-old battle between breast milk and formula and science and this and that. But it's more. There's more bonding with it. Number one, but also, breast milk I think has a lot more antibodies. So whatever the mum. So if, say for example, and it's actually like, okay, so a baby will suck on a teat on the nipple, and the nipple will send a message to the brain and say the baby needs this nutrient, and the brain will work with the body and produce the nutrient to send to the kid through the breast milk.
Really?
Yeah.
But that doesn't happen naturally with birth.
What do you mean?
Like, because obviously you start getting breast milk when you're pregnant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's part of the natural body changing.
Preparing for it.
Wouldn't the nutrients already be?
No,
building up
because as the baby's growing, it might lack this, lack that, or it might be a little bit unwell. So then the brain will then go, oh, okay.
Wait, you're telling me the nipple can read it? Can read what the baby needs?
That
can't be right.
I'm 99% confident in what I just said.
I have never, in my 31 years on Earth, heard that before. That the nipple.
I mean, he could be right. I don't know. But
I've never. So you're telling me, for example, let's say I'm a chick. My nipple isn't just the area the milk exits from. It's like it receives signals from the lips of the child.
Yeah.
And I can read the body.
I think it's through the saliva and the exchange of the saliva to the.
It can read what the baby needs. So, oh shit, the baby's lacking iron. I need to put some iron in the titties. Is that what you're saying?
I think, yeah.
That can't be. I'm
99% confident,
brother. If that's real, then so is God, because that is so precise and specific.
Yeah, but it just came out because I remember either reading it, having the conversations about it, seeing it.
Find out. We can't just leave our
nipple read.
This is not real. Like, I'll never let.
Avnisha's lost her mind. If this is real,
because I've never heard of this. I'm like,
Avnisha, he's 99% sure. He's very confident.
Okay, hold on. I'm almost there. Breast milk can changes from day to night. Breast milk changes during growth spurts and illnesses. Breast milk changes during feeding.
No, but when you say
milk watering, it adjusts if it needs to be fattier or not. In truth, breast milk increases the gradual.
But how does it know? That's what we need to figure out.
Yeah, like how does it sense?
Well, what do I ask? It's hard to ask. It's a lot for me to say. But look, breast milk. Okay, 6 magical ways that breast milk changes to meet your baby's needs.
Yeah, that's great.
That should just show. Breast milk has immune boosting components that are dynamic in responding to your baby's needs from the age to time of day and even illness.
How does it know? I'm very curious. He might have a point.
Yeah, I think he has a point.
Yeah, so it actually listens. It's an immune boosting component, and it actually listens to what your baby needs. Like it actually can I don't know, with lack of better terms, calculate that the baby's unwell, so it will provide an antibody for the kid to drink.
We need to figure out how it finds this out, because I'm so impressed with the human body right now.
Yeah, that's incredible. I've never heard of this. This is wild.
That is crazy. You know what I've always known about it, but I didn't know how common it was. Postpartum depression.
Yeah, it's
with women.
Tough.
Well, but you know how they say that women go through 3 trimesters of pregnancy?
Yeah.
Well, there's actually 4.
4.
It's weird to say 4 trimesters, but essentially it's 4 quarters.
Yeah.
Because you have, those 3 stages, then the baby comes.
Yeah.
Then they have the recovery stage that no one talks about, that no one has any addresses to, and that's the postpartum thing.
Yeah.
And that's a mental and a physical thing of recovery.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm curious about that. What did it look like for Lorraine? Like, if you don't mind.
I mean, if you're going through struggles with feeding,
yeah.
and adjustments to sleeping and body
everything.
changes and everything, that's what it is. That's what it looks like.
Okay.
And a lot of women get very depressed, and then obviously what comes in after that is like, am I good enough? Can I be a mother?
Yeah.
You know, those questions start happening.
Yeah.
And then obviously then you're like, oh, okay, people are coming to visit, and then people are saying, oh, do this and do that and judge this and judge that, and maybe your kid's not sleeping and it's crying all the time, and it's so much to handle as a parent in that initial like 3 to 4 months after. But after that, it becomes easier.
Okay.
I was speaking to someone recently, I won't mention who they are, and they were telling me how they went through this postpartum depression, and it got really bad and intense to the point, no, listen to this, and this really baffled me, and apparently it's quite normal. She had thoughts of killing the child. Like she thought she had lost her mind, and she thought she was going mental, and she went to a doctor and she was like, I'm going psychotic, and the doctor was like, no, this is so normal.
Yeah.
It is so normal. But I was like shocked that was even a thing.
Yeah. And a lot of like
Like thoughts of killing your baby. Apparently that's what is embedded in our DNA as humans. Well, for a woman that gives birth.
Well, it's because it's the symptoms of going through depression, right? And then like not being able to bond with your kid. I can only imagine how and you know, prior to that, you've had the kid growing 9 months with you, and then finally it's here and you can't build that bond.
Yeah.
It would be so difficult.
I think the main thing to get out there is if you're struggling to find a bond with your kid, just because it's not, you don't feel it's there now, it does come. It just takes time. The best thing that you can focus on is routine, because if you can get the faster you can build your routine, the faster you can build the bonding.
Yeah.
And that's the hardest thing to build, because you can't really control what the kid is doing, and the kid can't talk.
Yeah.
It can just cry. And then when it's crying, this is the crazy part. You have to go through a checklist of what could be wrong with the kid. So then you start to understand what type of cry means something. A specific cry means nappy change. A specific cry means I'm hungry. A specific cry means I'm sore.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's so overwhelming.
It's very overwhelming, but it's natural instincts for us to actually pick it up. So it's about cues. So listening to if the baby's going, that's a cue that it could be either hungry, nappy change, or tired. If you wait to the point where it cries, you're teaching the kid to go straight to crying to get something.
To get something.
Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. But it's also very terrifying.
So you have to be on top of it. Like there's a lot involved in it.
Yeah.
And this is why they can very quickly put foil in their nappy.
I forgot that's how we started the conversation.
Yeah, I know. Went down this whole rabbit hole from nipples being sensors and foil to nappy to. That's crazy, and that's why with the second kid with Evie, I was my only job apart from supporting Lorraine throughout the labor was to get Evie onto the breast as soon as she was born. If you can get your kid onto the breast and drinking milk as soon as they're born, you lessen the chances of feeding problems. With Lila, we didn't know that. So, you know what's crazy, bro? When the kid's born, right, they leave the umbilical cord in because it's still passing through, like, you know, good stuff for the kid. Yeah.
They put the kid on the on her chest, and the kid will move towards the nipple
Automatically.
That
is so weird.
And the kid can't really, like the baby can't really even see much, but they can see the nipple. And that's why nipples are dark onto the body, because it can see the difference and it will move towards it as best as it can.
How weird is that like.
That's wild.
What do you call that? Your
instinct.
Like instinct. Your natural instinct.
And that's why you're going to get them on straight away to start drinking, because there's a special liquid that's produced, colostrum, I think it's called. And that's like some of the most, and you only get a little bit, but that's like some of the most powerful kickstarters of feeding the kid.
Whoa.
How on earth can anyone debate the fact that we weren't created by a higher power?
I
like the
don't
fact
know.
that we're born with instinct, like shut up.
Yeah.
No one taught that baby that this is where you get your food from when you're hungry, but it already knows.
It already knows.
It's coded into its system, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is
It's
wild.
like, biology.
I guess lucky that it takes two to tango when it comes to parenting.
Oh, big
Right.
time. Because if you and this is a thing, like I've always thought of putting something together of how guys can support their wives in or partners, whatever, in birth and like in being a young parent. Because there's a lot that a guy can do to help. There's a lot.
Oh, of course.
But a lot of guys are like very like, oh, I don't want to change nappies. And I'm like, fuck a nappy. That means nothing. If you can actually want to help your partner, there's a lot you can do.
Yeah.
And this is why if you're married and you get divorced, it could be a very bad situation for that baby.
That's very morbid.
Yeah, I know. It was a weird segue into the
But
next
I'm
thing
guessing,
I want to talk about.
Okay, we'll bring it in. Let's go.
The worldwide percentage for divorce rates, marriages that end in divorce, has been released, and it's gone up, guys. It has gone up. I've got a list, a top 100 here of rankings of the countries with the highest to lowest divorce rates. But the worldwide percentage is sitting at an estimated 56%.
Wow. So it was like 50-50 at one point.
It was about 50-50.
So it's higher now,
It's gone up
divorce
to
rates.
56% worldwide.
Okay.
If you get this baffles me because it's what people like gravitate towards in life. It's like these are the steps. You know, you go to school,
Yeah.
you then go study a higher degree, you get a job, then you get married, right?
And get a house and get a dog and a picket fence.
It's like the
stages.
the stages of life.
Yeah.
It's got me thinking, why do we still get married as humans? Statistics are telling us that you are probably going to get divorced.
Well, there's a big percentage that are still married. Like,
Yeah, I get it.
56%,
44%.
44% are still married. That's huge.
I find that not when it's like a
You have-
vow
but- okay,
till
but-
death do us part,
but
and it's like all this
technic-
bullshit that comes with it.
Well, what you're saying is technically you have a higher percentage of getting divorced.
Yeah, there's a better chance. Okay, hypothetically speaking, because
Yeah.
now I'm thinking, right, humans are dumb. That's what I'm thinking. I'm like, humans are dumb. We shouldn't get married. That's where I'm going with this. Why? Because statistically, that's what the world is telling us.
I think that's silly, but continue.
You think it's silly?
I don't
Yeah,
think it's
but-
dumb.
okay.
I don't think it's dumb. I think it's everything's a risk and marriage is a risk now.
Okay, cool. I've got a question for you, Evnisha. Since it's dumb.
Before you go there, can we at least know
No, but you're saying
who's? I'm just curious. What are the top countries? Or like, do you know the top
Yes.
countries?
Okay. So the top country highest risk of divorce rates
Yeah.
is Portugal. 92% of marriages end in divorce.
92%.
92%. Closely after that is Russia, 74%. And then we'll just go down straight to the bottom. You've got India at 1%.
Okay.
India at 1%. The Western world is kind of simmering between that 45 to 50%
Yeah. Okay.
mark. So
Why?
like your Australia, your UK, your America, they're sitting at around that 45, 55%. But Nishi, back to this.
Okay.
But still use 44% of people that are still married. I think it's a massive thing. Okay, cool. If I said to you with Nisha, tomorrow, if you get in your car and drive, there's a 56% chance you're going to get into a serious accident. Are you going to go for a drive tomorrow?
No, but there's a difference
Why?
between that. Okay, because
You'll
Me-
die.
well-
You can die.
one, but also yes, like life threatening, but also in the car, there's only so much you can control, right? And of course, you can make that parallel to relationships. There's only so much you can control in a relationship too. However, there's more that I can control with like my relationship and my partner than it is going into a car and having 56% chance of going into a terrible accident.
But I'm just giving you stats here. I'm not telling you the do's and don'ts and how to control it and how not to control it. All I'm
Yeah.
saying to you is if you get married, statistically speaking, there's a 56% chance it's going to end in a negative way.
But on the
Yeah.
44% chance is still pretty high. If you were going to start a business and they said you have a 44% chance this business is going to take off and you're going to win,
and a 56% chance I'll lose all my money,
you'll lose all your
I
money.
do not get into that business. It's the dumbest thing ever. It's the worst. That's the worst gamble on earth.
But it's also context,
That's horrible.
right?
But the payoff, if you can make 44% chance work, and you know how you do that is by knowing that you're compatible with your partner, number one, and number two, actually learning how to be in a relationship. You get the payoff is unbelievable.
It's unbelievable.
Of course, it's unbelievable. That's literally the same as saying if I go to the casino and put $1 million on black and it hits black, it's the payoff is huge. It's like no, but I'm also got a chance of losing $1 million.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
if you go with that mindset and like anything, you're gonna
That's
just
pessimistic.
well, but not even pessimistic. You're not gonna really do much with your life, right? Like, yes, you like. Okay, I think it's different risks. I agree with you. If someone said, "Hey, you have a 60% chance of like this business being successful, and you know a 40% chance for it going
No
to shit,"
businessman would get into that business.
Yeah,
not
I get
one
that.
businessman would get into that business.
I get that, but I'm also saying that marriage is like if you told me, let's say I'm not married, right? And you said that's the stats, I would still get married. That's because society
has told you that's the way to go.
No, because I found the person I want to spend the rest of my life with, right?
Yeah, but that's what everyone finds when they first get married. Do you think they're going to get divorced? No, they're sitting there at the altar. They're sitting there wherever it is at the top of a cliff with the ocean behind them, and they're like, "Till death do us part, through sickness and through health." And then 5 years later, he's fucking his secretary.
Yeah, that's true. No, you're right. But here's the question. No, but it's true. It's true. It's 100% true what you're saying.
No one goes into there thinking they're going to get divorced.
But then what's the option?
No, but
that's the question now. What's the option?
Is go back to the animal kingdom.
Oh my gosh.
In what way?
I just don't think marriage is important. I think find a partner, stay with that partner, start a family, get a house, whatever.
But it's important to
why
some
get
people.
married? It's so stupid. Marriage is the biggest sham on earth.
Okay. But
what I don't like about marriage...
Hold on. Well, sorry, go ahead.
No, that's okay. What I don't like about marriage is that it has to be registered with the government. I think that
so
is
stupid,
the most ridiculous thing.
Yeah.
That the government needs to know if that I'm in a relationship with someone, right? And that I am... But at the same time... There's security. There's a security on the financial stage of it, the financial side of it. That we've worked together to build this thing.
Yeah,
and we've built it, and we get a divorce. At least we're both protected.
But it's not even that.
But now there's even laws in place that you don't have to be married to still get protected, like de facto.
Like de facto. But
so
let me just.
I don't get the point. I see what you're saying. I don't get the point of going down the legal, like going down the. You don't necessarily need to get married.
There's a reason for that. I'll get to it
in order to spend the rest of your life with someone.
You don't need to get married to spend the rest of your life with someone, but there is something so sacred and so beautiful to watch, like your friends and your family, and have people witness you declare your love to one another.
Yeah.
And say, we want to bind this, in law and in front of everyone we love, that we want to be with each other for life.
Yeah.
There is something so beautiful about that.
There is, but unfortunately that beautifulness gets thrown out the window when there's a 56% chance that you're going to get divorced.
But a 44% chance succeed, and you see people who are married till like 80 and 90.
But that's a different generation as well.
Yeah, okay.
So this new these stats are coming in because there's new people getting married and there's new marriages.
I agree with the notion that people always think they have to connect the dots, right? Like you said, you go to school, you go to university, then you get the right job, you meet someone, the love of your life, you're meant to get married, you're meant to have kids. They say this is how you connect the dots, and I don't agree with that because everyone's life is different and there's a trajectory for everyone that isn't the same. But in saying that, I still think that doesn't disregard the notion of marriage. What I do think, though, is that people think that they have to connect the dots and they think they have to find their life partner, and because everyone around them is getting married, they're just going to settle and get married, and that's not what you should do.
Yeah.
You should.
It comes down to, what does marriage mean for you? If marriage means for you a celebration, a couple of vows, sign the paper, and sharing of money, then don't get married, because that's not what it means.
Yeah.
But if marriage means to you, like you said, Nishi, spending the rest of your life with each other and actual love and building family and taking that next step to vow all those things, that's when you should get married.
Exactly.
And that's what I think might be going on here, is a lot of people are getting married because it's either what their parents have told them to do, they've been advised to, or they think that's how you live life. No, it's not how you live life.
Exactly.
How you live life is based off your heart and your gut, not your and in conjunction with your mind.
Can I explain something to you guys? So funny that you said about the have to sign up with the government when you're married, blah blah blah, all this shit. So when marriage was introduced, and we're pulling away religion from here, right? When marriage was introduced outside of religion, it was actually done for financial benefit.
Yeah.
A lot of the time it was for financial benefit, to get certain things easier, to purchase a home, easier to start a life, blah, blah, blah. It was all financial benefit. Secondly as well, guys, you need to remember something. How long has marriage been around for?
Actually,
a couple thousand years?
Yeah, 1,000 years. Let's say traditional marriages. Traditional marriages.
Like traditional marriages through church? Blah, blah. Is that what you're saying?
No. Traditional marriage is just like finding a partner. Will you marry me? Yes. And then going in front of a crowd of people.
But traditional marriage could also be arranged marriages too.
It could be arranged marriages.
Okay, so then a couple thousand years.
No, I wouldn't say 1,000 years. I'm talking about traditional marriages.
Okay, what is it?
Like in front of a priest.
Or you think actual wedding? You're talking about
like
actual
a wedding.
Like actual wedding. Yeah.
Whatever it is. Okay, here it is. This is the fun fact that people need to remember. Literally 200 years ago, let's say the 1800s.
They started having weddings.
well, just 1800s, right? Life expectancy was 40 years old. So you didn't have time to actually fall out of love with your partner or find someone
You're so
new.
pessimistic.
That's so interesting.
Pessimistic.
You
This is-
are.
Yeah, but they're
Avnisha, I'm
also
literally
married.
talking stats here. There's a reason
No,
why.
I get that, but there's still a 44%
Most divorces happen in their 40s. In your 40s, you get divorced, or in your late 30s.
But that doesn't mean-
But 200 years ago, you're on your fucking deathbed at 40 years old.
Yeah.
Life's a gamble, bro. You can either get married, have a wedding, and start a family and hope that your gamble
know
has
what
paid
I
off.
just think it's so dumb. I'm so sorry.
There are many reasons for divorce, right? Some very tragic, like there's some bad things going on in the relationship, and the
All
woman,
things just fall apart.
the woman or the man needs to get out. There's cheating. There can be so many plethora of reasons.
course.
However, one reason that I think is also what I've seen from like people I know and stuff. I wouldn't say divorce, but just relationships and seeing people fall out of relationships. One big thing that is a common thread, a pattern, is compromise. I feel like people are getting less and less willing to compromise in relationships. And I think that is the foundation of a relationship. But the more people I see, like especially the newer generations, it's like, well, it's my way. You can't tell me what to do. It's my life, and that's the mentality.
Yeah.
And that's, no relationship can work on that.
Well, you're
can't.
never even going to get to marriage level if your relationship is like that. You're not even going to get to that marriage level.
Well, some people get married very quickly.
And that's the problem. That's another problem as well.
The rush.
But I just think, and I'm like, for example, my cousin's getting married, right? He's been with his partner for a very, very long time. She's beautiful. They're an amazing couple, but they've fallen for this stupid marriage trap. This dumbass
It's not.
thing that was created. It is dumb,
No,
Avnisha.
it's
It is so
not.
dumb. Avnisha, they are spending $100,000 on their
You
wedding.
don't have to, though.
I know you don't have to, but they're doing that. And a lot of people do these days. A lot of people do.
Weddings are expensive.
They're
yeah.
spending a lot of money on their wedding, right? Before even investing into a property. Like, brother, go say you love this person in front of your closest friends and family. Don't spend a dime and don't worry about having a massive party. You don't need any of
Well,
that.
that's why the option of elope is there.
And that's why it should be.
But it's
and that's
also
what it should be.
important to like your culture and your family, right? Like I always say a marriage is a union between two people, but also their communities. You can't just isolate the two, right? Like you can. Sometimes you can't afford a big wedding and, it is what it is and that's fine. Each to their own. But like, for example, my family, right? They would be livid if I just, one, culturally, I would not be allowed to...
It's
It's
stormy.
really thunderstorming.
Is that thunder upstairs?
It's
Yeah.
thunder. It's really intense. It's also giving us a very like therapeutic vibe with the rain. Anyway,
Now, close your eyes and breathe in, breathe out.
No, in my culture, if I wouldn't be able to like live with Jared, to go on holidays with Jared or anything like that had I not got married first. Culturally,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
like...
But I think that's the biggest load of bullshit.
No, but I like
Like,
that.
I just think...
That people like it, people don't. I think that if you're going to be restricted by culture, then
a lot of
No,
people are.
but
that's
A lot of
just.
people
I just
are.
think that. I mean, I think that's going to fade out. It will, and
It
it's
will
already
eventually.
fading out.
It will eventually.
But no, but you know what?
I'm a firm believer of you do what's right for you, and and the most important thing in life is relationships. I was talking to you this other day. It doesn't matter if the relationship, like it's a relationship with your culture, a relationship with your parents, whatever. But what is the most valuable relationship? And if you think that that's your marriage or your partner, your life partner, then nothing should get in the way of the most valuable relationship, because off that gives value of life.
No, but I disagree. I think that yes, but you like at the end of the day, you have different types of relationships, and yes, the most valuable your partner. But in saying that, our parents, or we have good relationship with our parents, we're very fortunate to. But I think they also have a weight in like, I'm trying to explain how it's hard to explain, but I feel like you can't just disrespect that relationship to. Do you kind of get what I'm saying? It's really hard to.
I think at the end of the day, you're going to be unhappy. If you're going to always constantly sit there and think, oh, I'm going to be disrespecting my parents if I don't listen, or if I don't don't listen to their advice or whatever. I'm not saying that's what you're doing, right? But I'm just saying hypothetically, then you're automatically suppressing yourself and suppressing the opportunities you have that you can build with something that is valuable long-term for you, i.e. your husband or wife or boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever it is.
No, but I don't think it's not like drawing a line in the sand. Like there's certain circumstances where, of course, yes, like
I think you have to draw the line.
Sorry, you're right. You draw the line. You're right. You draw the line in the sand for certain circumstances, right? Like you have to make that decision. Sometimes I'm going with my partner. This is right for us, and it is what it is. But in saying that, I don't think when I say it isn't drawing the line in the sand, in the sense that you can't just have like this is this and that's that. Like your life is all intertwined with beautiful relationships, and it's contextual, and you make decisions based on those contexts, right? You can't just be like, well, this is what it is, black and white. That's it. And so like with my culture, similar thing. I grew up with, my parents who are Indian, and they're amazing.
By the way, Indian, 1% of the population get divorced.
Yeah, and that's one of the biggest
because
things I learned
taboo.
from my
how many Indian relationships and marriages do you think where one of the either the husband or the wife is currently miserable?
Oh yeah,
and they cannot leave because of cultural shunning.
Of course, and it's horrible. And I completely, if you're not in a happy relationship, marriage or whatever relationship, and there's terrible things going on, you need to leave. You need to get out of that, right? I'm not disagreeing with that. And yeah, you're right, 1% probably because there is a taboo of divorce, and people don't commonly get divorced because it's not seen as a positive thing. But what I am saying is, like, for example, culture, you can't just disregard that. Like when you grow up in a certain culture, in a certain household, and you learn so many beautiful values, like the values that I've learned from my family is putting family first, is about compromise, and it's that you have to
take what you value from the values, like you take what you value from the ethics. I get that.
But also my parents have given me so much. The least that I could do is respect some of their wishes as I get older. That I think is actually positive.
No, it's positive for you, though. That's what I'm saying.
But for you,
if it affects you in a negative way, then
it's different. And that's what's going on here. But I think there's more value in what your parents didn't teach you, not what your parents taught you.
What do you mean?
There's more value in what you learned by yourself through your own experience than what your parents teach you.
You're always going to learn more from your environment outside of your household than you are from your household itself. Always.
You can have your core ethics and stuff from your family, but beyond that, there's more value outside in the out world than in the in world.
Look, all I'm saying is
from the family perspective.
All I'm saying is the reason why I love maths, and it's because maths never lies. There's always one answer and one answer only. And the answer that I'm seeing here from these stats is you're better off not getting married.
I don't agree with that. It's so black and white.
Put it into practice, Yaz, and this is going to be directed at you now.
Yeah.
Do you want to get married?
Yes.
Why? The math says that it's not worth it.
You didn't ask me how many times I want to get married, did you? You just said, do you want to get married?
He's going to beat this.
Okay, so you're willing to go in and out of court, all those things, the struggles of divorce, the dramas that come with divorce.
Fuck yeah.
You're such a shit stirrer.
Keep life exciting.
And how realistic is your answer? Well, so you want to get... So why... so then why is
Brother,
it... Brother,
I can't hold a relationship for longer than a year and a half.
Okay.
I'll be surprised
Why do you think that is?
I think that's going to be I think that's going to be a whole nother episode.
Why? We can talk about it right now.
But I feel like I would like to find out, and I'm sorry to cut you up, Nishi, but I would like to find out why you look at these numbers and you say they don't lie, and then you still say you want to get married. Why?
No. Well, because humans are a very complicated species, extremely complicated, right? We want what we can't have, and when we have it, we don't give a fuck about it. That is the problem, and it's with anything. Can you guys deny the fact that we want what we can't have majority of the time? When someone says you can't have something that you want it 10 times more.
Yeah,
right.
That's when desire comes in. And
exactly.
It's a reverse psychology. That's what it is.
Humans have a desire to find a partner, right?
Yes.
And when you find that partner, and this comes down to the love, for example, that you had for Jared, right? That overwhelming, over the top, I want him to be mine. I want everything about. Now that he's there, that massive fire, it's probably still there, but it's not as big as it was right at the beginning.
But that's only because of stages.
But that transforms into something so much more beautiful. Like, I would not want to go back to those early stages and have that, like, that kind of desire. I 100% would sell that to have what I have right now over and over again, because it's a love that is so different and so much better. then that like, oh my God, that
phase.
Yeah, I can't.
But I think it's deeper than wanting a relationship. I think it's the instinctual urge to procreate.
And that's probably what it is as well.
And along the procreation journey, you need to find a partner, right? And you can go and get any partner to procreate, but then you want to have... You'd want someone that's secure to do it with.
Well, that's very, very different. So when I look at who I'm looking at now as a partner and who I want to date in the future and what boxes they tick off, it's so different to whoever I dated in the past. Yeah. Right? I wasn't thinking about that, but now when I look at them, I go, okay, how are you going to raise my child? Are you going to be a good mother? Because you know what? Like mother, like daughter, 90% of the time. It really is true, right? So now my criteria to
I don't know about that. Like mother, like daughter.
A lot of the times, bro. A lot of the times. What do you mean?
I think that you learn from your parents what not to do and what to do.
Well, that's exactly what I'm saying. So like, for example...
No, but what Kian's saying is you learn also what not to do, so inevitably your kid will be different.
You'll raise your kid different. I raise my kids differently to how my parents raised me.
Oh, no, I get that. I understand that.
And so does Lorraine.
Yeah.
And we actively do what we've learnt from how we were raised, and we actively want to do it different. And that's every natural thing. Like my parents, they were raised in South Africa. They didn't want their kids to be raised in South Africa, so they moved to Australia.
Well, like that's a very
simplistic example.
Little certain things, like things that I think would be acceptable in my household when I have a family. Yeah. I want them to kind of be merged with what my partner's household was like. So, for example, if I date a girl and she was raised and in high school she was allowed to have her boyfriend sleep over because her mum said it was okay. She's now going to think that it's okay for her daughter to have her boyfriend come stay over when they're 15, 16 years old.
She might, but she might also think, hold on, that's not right. I was too young to have my boyfriend. And she might learn that.
Yeah, she might. But if you're in an environment where it's telling you that it's okay, there's a very high chance that you're going to think it's okay.
That's true.
But what do you ask on the first date? Do you ask these questions?
Well,
but you get to know someone.
But this is the important part, and this ties back to divorces. Is these are the conversations you need to have before you get married.
Of course.
You have to.
And if you're not having conversations like this with your partner and aligning and actually getting into the compatibility of, because after marriage comes kids, and that's an absolute blessing because some people can't. Yeah. So you need to know what it's going to be like, or at least the idea or the concepts you have of parenting or how you want to live a life. Yeah. That needs to be discussed. If you're not having that, you're in that 56%.
Agreed. Let me explain to you something that happened in one of my other relationships, right? Her mum was very easygoing, so she'd tell her mum certain things, but her dad wasn't. Her dad was a bit more stricter. Okay. So she'd keep certain things from her dad, right? So we were going overseas. We were going to go on a trip overseas. And she told her mum and she didn't tell her dad. I said, what do you mean you didn't tell your dad? She's like, oh, my mum just thinks it's better not to. My mum knows. That's fine. And I said to her, I looked at her straight in the eyes. I said, on my mother's life, if you think that that's going to happen when we're married and have children, you've got another thing coming. If my daughter is doing something that I don't know she's doing, I'm there to protect her. I need to know where she's at all times.
It's your duty.
I don't care about how she feels. I don't care about her feelings. I don't care about if she's upset that I know or whatever.
Oh, the thunder came in the perfect timing.
Is the thunder like aligning with our wordings here? Like,
I don't know. Are we getting like told something?
Am I going to wake up in Yaz's body or something? Like, is this a Freaky Friday situation? Anyway, go on.
Yeah, but anyway, so I'm just saying, like, certain things like that. Like, if I had found out that my wife was keeping very important information that my daughter was out there doing from me, even that could trigger something to be like, well, you're not the right person for me then. Yeah. Even though we've got kids and this and that, it's like, I don't even know where we're going with this.
No, you're right. You're right. And it's you have to essentially what you're saying is you two are the partners and they are the children. And you need to be aligned at all times. And if you have to withhold information from the child, you'd rather do that than withhold information from each other. Yeah. So she should have told the dad, and the dad could have just held the information from there and spoken through the mum.
Oh no, I made her
Do you know what I mean?
Her dad.
Oh, you did?
100%.
Yeah, good.
I don't want her sneaking around and me being the reason why she's sneaking around. Like, her dad is, traditionally is the king of the household. Yeah. You got to respect him. You got to respect his decision. So I said, we're not going on this trip unless your dad knows. And if your dad says no, then we're not going on this trip. It's very simple.
That's respectful.
Yeah, but anyway, it's 56% of marriages and then divorce.
Well, I think
What a powerful episode.
Very, but I just want to end it with this. I just want to say that if you're thinking of getting married, don't look at these stats. It's up to you and your relationship to make it work.
Just know.
No, you don't need to know.
Know the risk.
There's a 56%
you should know the risk.
chance statistically.
If you think you found your life partner and the love of your life, and you ultimately, it's up to you to make it work. That's the reality, okay? Not external people saying certain things. It's up to you and your partner.
That's it.
That's it.
I agree with you. Just know.
Just know there's a risk.
No matter how hard you try, I'll bring it down a bit more.
I
There's
would
a
just say
50%
spend
chance.
a little bit more time before marriage actually talking through it.
Try before you buy.
What?
You could try before you buy, but I mean more
I
so
think it's so important.
actually talk through all your concepts of marriage, what it means, what it is, what's the value, what's going to happen, what's the kids, what's going on with our vision. Have the vision. When you go into business with someone, you don't just go in blind. You go in, you know the risk, you know the business, you know the vision of what you want to achieve. You need to have that down pat, or at least an idea of it, so you know where you're heading.
You can have the
a relationship is
conversations
all about direction.
and conversations, but you don't need to try before buy.
Yes, what do
No,
you
you
mean?
don't.
Well, that's what
Anyway.
boyfriend girlfriend
What
is.
do you think?
No, but that's what boyfriend girlfriend
What are you
is.
talking about?
No.
Were you arranged to Jared?
No, sorry. I mean like living with them and things like that before marriage. You don't need to do that.
Oh, I think it's important. Look, I am a very traditional person. I believe in a lot of things biblical, right? But there's certain things that I just can't agree with. One, I think it's important to live with someone before you get married.
I don't think you need to.
I think it's Nishi, just because you got lucky with the person you moved in with after you got married, some people move in and they find out that they're married to a disgusting grub or someone that they just physically can't live with. Seeing someone
You can find that out from...
Avnisha, seeing someone
You
for
can.
2 hours a day compared to living with someone permanently are two very different things.
No, I agree, but I'm also saying like it's not a stark difference. I'll be very surprised if you've dated someone for long enough and then all these surprises come out. Then that's just that person was lying to you from the start. Like you can tell and learn habits if you're spending enough time with someone for a very long duration of time. Unless you get married within a year, that's very different.
Secondly, I just want to throw this in there too. Once again, I'm very traditional, I'm very biblical, but I think it's so important to figure out your sexual chemistry with your partner before you get married. I think it's so important to have sex before marriage with the person you want to spend the rest of your life with.
I disagree.
I don't think that these days that's a thing. To be honest, it's very rare to find a virgin these days.
It is very rare. It is very rare. And to
Did
me,
you see that stat? That not that stat, but this woman came out, and I actually put it in our personal chat. She said that a woman by the age of 23 in this modern time would have had more sexual partners than a woman by the age of 53 in this modern time.
Yeah, I agree. 100%
yeah,
agree.
it's a whole different time.
So accessible right
then.
now. It's ridiculous. But can you imagine, like dating someone for 3 years, never having sex, and then you finally get married, right? And the sex is just really, really,
Yeah, but that's if
really
you value
bad.
sex. Like that's if you value sex.
You cannot say sexual chemistry is one of the most important things in a relationship.
It is.
But it's something
It is
that you
so
can-
important.
But you can grow that. You can learn together.
Exactly.
You can learn together.
All right,
People
what
can
if-
work on that.
What if vagina is way too small for his massive penis?
You better spread-
No, but I'm being serious. Like really painful, like really bad, and it's just not compatible.
Well,
I think I'm telling you now.
I mean that. Yeah.
And there's a reason why I'm saying this, because I know someone that got
56%.
divorced. I know someone that got divorced after a year of getting married, and they were celibate, and the reason for the divorce was a sexual
Okay, well,
chemistry
what is
was
it like?
zero.
What's the likelihood of that happening?
What would happen to them?
56%.
Okay, I'm
If we're going off
56%
stats here,
no, it's not 56%.
back to the divorce rate then.
I don't think 56% of divorces are because of
No, I'm not saying that.
Yeah,
Compatible sex, but that it would be a high percentage.
I'm just
in
saying,
there.
I think that like just
Yeah,
Try
you see,
before
like,
you buy.
I don't think so. I disagree.
You're so conservative, though. It's very hard to have any of these conversations with you, Nishi, because you are extremely conservative, and you got extremely lucky with the person.
I know
you're
I
with.
got extremely lucky. I do agree with that,
I
but
think it's more blessed
I do.
than luck.
Yeah, I think I got very blessed, but I do think that if you're with someone, it's just about taking your time with that person and really figuring it out and not rushing into anything.
Bro, look at my mate Addy. You know Addy. He dated this girl for 12 years. 12 years they never lived together. The second they got married, right? Downhill. downhill, downhill, downhill. 13 months, divorced. They dated for 12 years.
But
I'm telling you now, things change. Spending 2 hours a day with someone, 3 hours a day with someone, and then spending every single hour with that person changes things.
And I bet you they didn't have conversations.
yeah,
12 years of no conversations.
you don't know what their
man.
relationship is like, though. You know what I mean? I mean, you probably know, obviously, because you're friends with them. I'm assuming a lot more.
I told him not to get married, to be honest.
But you tell everyone to not get married. Like, literally
I just want people to roll with me.
No, this guy,
in the
right?
single world.
Hashtag.
One of our mates told us he got recently engaged. He was telling this beautiful story about how he proposed, and this little rat comes from the side and goes, "Why did you propose?"
No,
Who is this?
When was this?
I will say names after.
No, but when? Just tell me when it was.
When was
When
this?
we were in radio, there was one specific person that talked about proposing. And
Blonde
you said,
hair?
Yes, and you said it was such a bad idea. And I was like, yes, you can't say that. And then this guy's like, we're like, do you want to get married? And Yes was like, yes, I will get married.
I will one day, knowing damn well the risk I'm taking. You got to remember, I'm a dirty little gambler. You got to remember that. I'll go to the casino and I will put $1,000 on black or red, hoping to double it.
Oh my goodness.
All right, let's wrap this up.
Yeah.
We've gone over time, but what an episode that was. Whatever. Get married, don't get married. It's your life.
Do whatever feels right.
Thanks for listening, everybody.
See you guys.
See ya.
Already cancelled.
If you like the podcast, prove it. Like, share, and subscribe, and don't forget to leave us a cheeky review.